You know, St. Louis is an incredible community. We're going to show some of the great leaders in our community, the businesses that are here, the groups, organizations, and charities that make it so awesome. We'll do this right here live for you on the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Giddy up! Giddy up! Woo! We have in studio Tony Fonte. Anthony Fonte Coaching. There it is, TonyFonte.com. Tony, welcome to the show. How
Thanks,
are you doing today?
Appreciate it.
Well, I've known you for many years now, and I know you've done a lot of inspirational, fun things. Tell us a little bit what you got going on. Why did you decide to get into life coaching?
Unfortunately, I thought it'd be like this awesome thing getting into coaching, but I lost my wife back in 2011, tragically, unexpectedly, 6 months after we were married. You were around when that happened. Yeah. She was 30 years old and left me to raise my 5-year-old at the time, who's now 11. And just really spent a lot of time going, now what do I do? Now what do I do? And it was probably a year later that I felt this calling to, like, I'm supposed to be a coach. I'm supposed to help people transform their lives around. Not just tragedy, but from going through any junk, any chaos in their life that's holding them back. Let's get you right on track. Be who you were created to be. And so I went on this journey of really helping people, walking through people, and going through a lot of transition and transformation myself as I'm doing that. And it's got me to where I am now, really helping men embrace their vulnerability and build a resilience to shame so they can be the dad, the husband, and the leader they were meant to be.
How long have you been doing this now?
About 5 years now. Yeah, it was actually this 5 years. February 2012 is when I started.
Wow. So you've been doing, you got a fair amount of experience with this now, and you've helped a lot of people I know already.
Yes.
What is it that you do that really kind of sets you apart? There's a lot of life coaches out there, but what's Tony's niche?
Well, it's the niche that I have with working with men and helping them embrace their vulnerability, because there's not enough men talking to men, sharing that, because there's so many myths about vulnerability. And we want to stay away with that because that's what culture says we have to do.
I have to be tough.
You got to be tough, but yet, so I can't be vulnerable because vulnerability is weakness. And through my own transformation, I realized that's the exact opposite. Vulnerability is what makes you strong, makes you powerful, and makes you be who you really are and step into that. Right. And I learned that through my own story. So that's what sets me apart, is that it's my own journey. I had to go through it myself, and now I teach the same stuff to men because there's not enough men doing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I tell people I have a huge advantage over many people because I've been through a coma. Yeah. I know what it's like to go through that and to actually pull through it and recover. Yeah. There's some question if I fully recovered or not, but the idea is that, really cut through it, and I can tell, and men need to realize, hey man, that we all go through junk. There's stuff that you got to deal with, and are you going to man up to it? Or are you going to act like the tough guy and never actually deal with the issue? So tell me, what is it you've found is your expertise? Where do you go with this now to really help make a difference?
I got a lot of different tools that I use over the years, but really just walking through men, just because I've been there. So when I can hear them speak, I can hear the hidden things that they don't see themselves because they're in it, and I hear it and I can automatically say, oh man, they're dealing with shame right now. Let's talk about this. And I walk them through that. And I give them really what it is. It's the safe place, the safe zone to really open up without being judged, because that's what we need, and that's what we want, we long for. Right. Because we long to be more for our wives and kids, and we do more for our wives and kids, but we don't know how to just step up into that and be seen and just really open up with that. Mm-hmm. And I give them that safe zone, say, hey, it's okay. I've been there right where you're at. Let's talk about this. Let's walk through this. And then I have systems and tools that walk them through, and just through questioning and other tools that actually bring out who they really are and let them just shatter those shackles they have on them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been through, I've done a number of counselings myself, helping people and going through events with all our, the Cardinal Cowboy stuff we do. But it's amazing to me, a couple men who I've talked to, and these are strong public figures or people that are well known or run organizations. And when you break it down sometimes, I was in the studio yesterday with a guy, I won't name, but we both ended up just crying. There's nobody else in the studio. There's nobody else here to talk to or witness what's going on. And so why would there even be a reason? But we got into the raw element of what we're all here for and try to be, happy creatures on this planet helping other people. And this guy told me some deep stuff that I was like, wow. And I think that's the element a lot of men are afraid of. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And it's amazing that you can sit down with somebody and you think they have it all together. I mean, they could be someone high-end, some quality high-end, doing very high-caliber things, and very high, they're high visibility. They're being seen everywhere. And you sit down with them, and you're going, wow, they're not much different than me. They have their own challenges and their own struggles. Yes. And they're trying to deal with it on their own because that's what they're supposed to do.
Tell us about the book. I know you're excited.
Yeah.
This just came out. This is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I want to write my own book too. But
it actually just came out 2 weeks ago, in New Beginnings.
Okay, yeah, show it over here.
Yeah, so it's New Beginnings. Step into the life you were created to live. And what this is, it's a journey from my tragedy to transformation. So it's my journey through transformation, and that's my daughter on the cover. That she actually inspired the cover story, and it's actually on the inside. You can actually read the whole story where she inspired this photo. So I wasn't going away from this photo. I had to do that. But what it does is, as you're going through this journey and this transformation, you have 4 themes that you're going to find throughout this as you're reading through it. One is creating happiness that lasts. 2 is building a resilient mind so that you can weather any storm.
That's
which probably the most important piece, I think.
3 is embracing vulnerability so you can rediscover who you really are. And the 4th one is walking through grief, which is a huge part of me. And that's not just death, but it can be any grief, like divorce. I mean, there's so much more to grief. I tell it from the standpoint of losing my wife, obviously, but anybody can take these tools and from the grief side of things and really put it in their life, whatever they're dealing with. It's an amazing story, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback already for it.
Well, I've seen people clamoring, so in there, can I get a copy? And I want to sign this for me. That's pretty
A
cool.
lot of live signings and taking selfies with everybody, and then they're like, wow, Tony, I don't normally read, and I read this in 2 hours. It's that I couldn't put it down. I've had countless and countless people telling me that, which is very humbling for me, because it was scary, putting the story out there. But when you see that it's actually changing people's lives, and it's like, wow, my story is like you were just talking to me, and I'm like, we're all connected very closely. We don't realize we are, because the world just pushes us so far away with junk and being busy, and we're closer than what we think we are.
Tony, incredible book, New Beginnings. There it is. Everybody needs to get a copy of this. Yes. Great fundamentals about it. I hadn't heard those 4. Those are core. That's important. The Anthony Fonte Coaching, TonyFonte.com. Thanks for coming on the show again today, Tony. All right. You're watching the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Stay tuned. Giddy up! Woo! We're here with Officer Cody Goodwin, recent addition to the St. Louis County Police Department. Served 4 years up in Kirksville, Missouri, and doing all kinds of good stuff here in St. Louis. And you've been here now just for a couple months. Tell me, what is it you love most about being a police officer?
I got to say, the best thing about being a police officer, especially out here, I mean, there's always someone in need of help. Just being able to go out and help people, when nobody else is coming for them, they can always count on the police. And that's one of the things I love about St. Louis. It's always drawn me to St. Louis. Very, very prideful department here. Very proud of the work they do. Very respected. It's a great place to be. I'm very happy to be here.
That's really neat. So tell me, what was it when you were a kid that compelled you to say, I want to be a police officer when I grow up?
My dad, my uncle, my brother, everybody, they're volunteer firemen. I was kind of drawn towards the fire thing for a while, but law enforcement ultimately just something bit me, and they were always getting phone calls middle of the night or middle of the day, and just going to help people out, whatever it may be, medical, fire, anything like that, car wrecks. And I just love working full time, in the emergency field, and being able to have that experience and be able to physically still do this. It's huge for me.
Tell me, what do you feel sets being a police officer apart from any other profession that's out there?
It is, being a police officer, it's the best seat and the greatest show in the world. I mean, you are seeing everything that's ever happening, from the good to the bad to, everything in between. There's always something different going on. There's always something. Some days are harder than others, some days are great, some days are easy, but there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. I couldn't imagine doing any other line of work other than this.
So what do you feel like you do personally to contribute most to the community as a police officer?
Some days you're a counselor. Some days, you're a friend to people. Some days you're an enemy to people. But you're everything. You play every role there is, just like everybody out there. Every officer working. I mean, you wear so many different hats in this line of work. It's unlike anything else.
So tell me what it is you feel that you do that most people don't appreciate about being a police officer. We know about how you have to sometimes give somebody a citation or pick somebody up, but there's a lot of positive things that police officers get to do. And
Oh yeah.
touch on that for me if you would.
I think the majority of the things that we do are positive. Some people work in different areas where different things are recognized. I think the majority of people in St. Louis appreciate law enforcement being there. But I think that a lot of the areas that don't appreciate it are the ones that get the most attention. I think there are plenty of people out there that appreciate what law enforcement officers are doing every day and recognize it. But I think the ones that get the most attention are the ones that don't, which is the truth in most cases where the most negative thing gets the most attention, typically.
So something that families fear most, their loved one, their husband, wife, serving in a line of duty and might get shot while they're on the job. That recently happened to you. Tell us a little about it.
Yeah, we were out, me and a handful of other officers were out attempting to make an arrest on a suspect who had shot at a couple other people before. And unfortunate event, we were trying to get in position, wasn't quite ready. And this guy had popped out and I just happened to be in wrong place at the wrong time. But I took a bullet into my left arm and it's still in there right now. So this is where the bullet entered my arm and it exited here on the inside of my arm and re-entered. And now the projectile is laying about right here in my bicep, which will be surgically removed tomorrow. This is from glass scraping off from the window of the car I was standing behind. But it made a straight shot through, did not break a bone, didn't break an artery, and from what the surgeon tells me is about a centimeter or two away from the major artery. Should be back to 100% soon.
Well, fortunately, it didn't hit you in a place that would not necessarily do any more detrimental damage.
Yeah.
So you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm very blessed with that.
And yeah, it's a very close shot, but this is the risk and what you guys do to put your lives on the line every day to protect us. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
If you'd like to be on our show, go to cardinalcowboy.com.
We are in studio with Father Edward Doyle and John Callahan from the Ancient Order of Hibernians, Michael J. Rorty Division here in St. Charles County. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Thank you.
Well, this is going to be a very enlightening and inspiring conversation because as I learn more about what you guys are all about, it's a unique organization that some people are very familiar with, some people may not. Irish-based. Okay, so what do they stand for? What do they represent? John, tell us a little bit more about the history and what they are really trying to accomplish in our community.
Within our community, the Ancient Order of Hibernians are committed to doing good works. We want to maintain the Irish and Celtic history and traditions of things like music, dance, authors, film today. If it's related to anything from someone that has an Irish background, and we are interested in supporting those events. We have a particularly strong interest in our history, and going back to the 1836, when the Ancient Order of Hibernians in America was founded in May 4th. We will support those kinds of efforts and activities that we think enhance a true retelling of our history.
Okay.
And not just as Irish in Ireland, but as American Irish and what we have done in our country.
That's neat. So over almost 180 years in existence in the United States.
Right.
And how long has the organization existed in the world?
Ooh,
I think we were talking about
Well,
the 1600s?
back in the
as I
green-
say, yes, that's where it came from, and it came out of oppression.
Okay.
Now, you might notice the Irish flag, the symbolism, that was formed in 1848 in Paris.
Okay.
And of course, the French had a tricolor as well. Now, the green was for the Irish of old tradition. White was the universal sign of peace. And orange was for the followers of William of Orange, who took over from King James II, defeated him at the Battle of the Boyne in Ireland. In other words, they were trying to get power for Ireland and England, and so they brought over this William of Orange.
Unity, friendship, and Christian charity is, I'll call that our charter. These are the things that we want to do, or in the name of those concepts, guides our actions in our community.
What is it that really is the philanthropic piece of this that really makes the influence in the community?
Okay, a very good question. Many of our members are involved in very different organizations with a charitable interest. Some of us here in St. Charles County are now directors with the No Hunger Holiday Organization. We provide for about 2,000 families in St. Charles County that are in need for the Thanksgiving, Christmas season. We support organizations like Adopt a Family.
So tell me, what's one of the biggest challenges locally here in your community that you've had to overcome with regard to building your organization?
And that is the challenge, to build the recruitment, to build our organization. We have tried to work through different parish organizations. We've in the past have attempted to recruit some younger college students. Our problem is we're finding our average age is increasing.
Right.
There's a lot of gray hair in our organization. And I think we have the concept of community service that would appeal to a great many Catholic young men, and we just have to get this message out to them that we are here and we can be that utility, that pathway for them to do good works in the community.
Father, what would you say is some of the most inspiring work you do and why people should be attracted to what you're...
Well, I see, as John has pointed out, the social needs that come up, for instance, with veterans who might be homeless or something like that. Okay. And what inspired me for this particular division, compared to some church organizations that I'm familiar with, was the generosity. And it's been there since I joined our division in 1998, that we want to reach out.
Well, an incredible organization that's making a huge impact. I hope you guys continue to fight the battle to make such an improvement, because our world needs so much of this. And I appreciate you guys coming on the show today.
Great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
very much.
This is the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Stay tuned. We are in studio with Richard Schoaf and Rocky Reitmeyer with the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Great information. We've done a couple spots about awesome organizations help the community. Talk to some other people in your organization. Tell us a little bit more about the excitement that you guys bring to the St. Louis community. Rocky, you're the president. Tell us a little bit more about what you love about what you guys do.
Well, we do a lot of things. We try to help people, just like helping the community, bringing information to the community of what the Hibernians do. We do a lot of sponsorships. We help the community with the food drives, the No Hunger Holiday. We help also with the a couple of things that's close and dear to my heart is helping the Marine. We got a Marine focus unit out there that we help the veterans. Okay. We help the Arbor House with the veterans that are homeless. So we put our hearts into that. You know, we've got different things going on all the time. We've got trivia nights. We've got barbecues. We try to raise money in the best way we can to give to the people in need. And you know, what can we do? Everybody's always asking for money, but the good thing is they always come and help the Hibernians. So it's a great thing, and it's a great organization.
All right. In an Irish base, you have to have some descent of Irish blood in your system, right, to make sure that you can be part of the organization.
If you're of Irish descent, if you're a man for the Ancient Order of Hibernians, ladies have the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians, okay. And then also I'm trying to think, being Catholic, okay. And that's the other piece to that, okay. And those are sort of the key tenets of it.
What's your main focus in St. Louis? What do you want to try to communicate?
Well, mostly what a lot of the people know us as Hibernians is our Dogtown Parade. We're there every year. That's named after us. The Hibernian Parade is the St. Pat's Parade in Dogtown. We also help the people out in Cottleville and Wentzville too. But it's great. It brings out the people out of their home. They're dressed in green, and even if they're not Irish, they're out in their green and enjoying the day. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
What's next for you guys? Anything exciting as far as an overall objective that you're trying to shoot towards?
Annually, we have a couple of big events. One is we just finished up our annual trivia night that happens right before St. Patrick's Day. It's a few weeks before that, and it's usually like right after the Super Bowl.
Every year?
So every year, and it's a great fundraiser for targeted charities. And then also during the summertime, you'll see it's a lot of locations actually doing some barbecues. And then we identify certain things that we're fundraising for. That it varies, and then looking at other charities that do need that synergistic support. So we can find those targeted charities that we can actually help raise money and then give it to those charities.
Awesome. Well, great organization. I'm very familiar with now, and I feel like there's a lot of good things you guys are really helping to make happen in the community, and we look forward to continuing to support you. So let us know anything exciting you have on there. Thank you, Richard, for setting this up, and thank you, Rocky, for coming on the show today. You're watching the Cardinal Cowboy Show. Stay tuned.
Giddy up! Woo! So in our continued effort to keep with our theme, I'm speaking with some of the leaders in our community. Today I'm sitting with Stuart Imber, a leader in the community for sure. Stuart, how are you doing today?
Great, Carter. Great to see you.
Good to see you. Stuart is a leader in the community, helping families get into their homes. He's been in the real estate and the mortgage industry for many years now, and so we're going to pick his brain a little bit. As you can see, we're in kind of a unique setting here. This is Cardinal Heaven, if you want to talk about what someone has set up for their own in-home man cave. Doesn't get much better than this, Stuart. This is awesome.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Carter.
So how long did this thing take to get put together?
Well, let's see. I'm 47, so probably when I was 10 years old it started, or younger, just collecting things and memorabilia, and really began there.
So what is it that really draws you to this kind of a staple, a focus for what you enjoy about life, and how did you get first involved with this?
So where we're at really is the continuing project that I've had of having what I call kind of my happy place. This is my home office, but it is also my tribute to most things Cardinal baseball, and certainly St. Louis sports as well, and then tributes to Hall of Famers and others. But it's mostly my little slice of Cardinal heaven away from Busch Stadium.
Well, for me, baseball was big, also a huge influence on my life. What would you say was the unique attribute that baseball brought to you to really help you separate yourself and get that edge?
You know, it's interesting. Baseball is a perfect example of teamwork. You can't function as a successful baseball team with people that, one, aren't working together, two, that think they're more important than the entirety of the team. And you see the teams that are successful are true teams. They know how to get along. Doesn't mean they always love each other every minute, but they understand that everyone's success, the team's success, is based on the participation of everybody, and everyone's valuable. And that's really a lesson that we try to teach our employees, our loan officers, processors, and it's something that's really been helpful for us.
What is your passion? What is it that gets Stuart Imber up every day to say, I can't wait to go out and do this?
What really excites me is to get into my office and have someone ready to talk about their future home, their future financing needs, and then I can really, I tell my clients, this is a big puzzle we're putting together now. I don't take a loan application really. It's basically just a conversation, and I get all the information I need during that conversation. But it's really putting the pieces of the puzzle together and giving that extra effort that really gets me motivated every day.
So tell us, what is it that sets Stuart Imber apart? First-rate mortgage, powered by Delmar Financial. What do you do differently that really makes it something they say, I've got to work with Stuart?
So Carter, what really separates us from our competition is that we work on parallel tracks as a boutique operation based in Clayton, where we will meet our customers anytime. We meet them after hours. We're really an after hours weekends business. We understand that a working professional needs their day to do their job. So we are available to our customers really 7 days a week. And on the other track is our technology and our processing and our processing systems that we use, which are, we've invested a lot in our technology too. So it's kind of, you get the best of both worlds. You get someone who's going to physically be there to hold your hand and also have the technology that really the next generation relies on. They want to be able to go upload their documents to the website. They don't want to have to, do things outside of the technological world that they grew up in. So those are our real values.
So what is it that gives you the most satisfaction about what you do?
The most satisfaction really is when we're sitting at a closing table and I see a family either just got married, or whether they've started a family and they got their kids with them, and the kids have picked out their rooms and the realtor's there and everyone's happy and excited, and we're at the celebration at that point. And it's exceptionally satisfying to know that you've put someone or helped put someone in the home that they're going to be sharing with their family.
So what do you feel you most do to contribute to the community?
We, as a branch, we contribute a portion of each loan to a charity of our client's choice. We have them fill out a form, and we'll send a donation in their name. We're also involved in other charitable organizations in St. Louis. So we've made contributions to the YMCA, Kids in the Middle, which is a wonderful organization that helps kids that are parents are going through a separation. St. Louis Men's Club for Cancer, a great organization, does a lot for raising funds for cancer research. So while we'll give the choice to our clients too, we also will make contributions to a larger organization.
Yeah, St. Louis is really known for a community that does so much charitable work and has so many philanthropic organizations, so that's great to hear some of the great things you do. Well, Stuart, we appreciate you bringing us into your incredible demonstration of real baseball excitement. This is unbelievable, and we appreciate you having us here.
I built this partially for myself, but for other Cardinal fans and sports fans to enjoy too. And I get a lot of satisfaction of people just looking around and really taking it in, because I know it brings memories to everybody. Each piece of memorabilia in here could mean something to somebody else. So,
well, thanks again, Stuart.
All right, thank you.
Stay tuned. More excitement coming on the Cardinal Cowboy Show. You know, life is all about what we do to make the world a better place. Don't let anyone tell you there's anything you can't do. It's entirely up to you. Get out there, go for it, and go do it. Thanks for watching the Cardinal Cowboy Show, and we'll see you soon. Giddy up!